Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the CURT Premium 4-bike rack carrier here on our 2021 Honda Odyssey. Now, I think the CURT Premium does a lot of things greatly, and the biggest thing for me, it is primarily a family-oriented bike rack. What do I mean by that? As you can look, we do have these dual-arm support systems. Now, normally with these hanging styles, you start running into problems with step-through bikes, women bikes, and especially kiddos bikes, as a lot of times their horizontal bar actually can't accommodate to the bike rack's needs, so we end up having to buy a bike adapter bar. Now, those guys do work great. However, I know they're just one more thing to track, especially in the Saturday mornings. It can be hard just to get up and going, especially getting the family to the trail, and that's where I think the CURT Premium really starts excelling. You'll notice here that we do have just our normal kind of wide set on our tubes here. Our dual arm support system does a good job of giving us 3 contact points, but as you look, it actually tapers down to a smaller subset here to start accommodating for those smaller needs. So those kids bikes that we normally have to end up buying a back adapter bar can just slot right on here with no trouble at all, and I really like that, especially for the price point that we are starting at. That being said, it also knocks it down. We don't have to buy those extra bike adapter bars, so we're not looking at another expenditure to really get this bike rack working for us. Taking a look too, you will notice on the end we do have some reflectors, and one thing I like about that, I don't really think they're that standard across the industry as much as they should be, especially being on an all black rack. Can be nice just to let people know where we are exactly when we are getting home from those long trail rides, you know, especially if it's starting to get dusk. It's nice to know that somebody will see us and our family will be safe. Taking a look at the cradles themselves, they're nothing too much to write home about, but I do like the rubber strip system here. They are nice, thick material, so they're going to hold up well. And you will notice they have some grooves on the inside. What's great about those, if we have any bike cables, you know, brake lines or anything, hopefully we get those sitting in between those grooves. That way they're not rubbing up on our frame as we are going down the road and causing any kind of damage. Now, this guy does have 180 pounds overall weight capacity. That puts you about 45 pounds per bike. Now, keep in mind, those kiddos bikes probably not going to be the heaviest bikes out there, so we might get away with a little bit heavier bikes up on here, but I definitely wouldn't exceed probably more than 50. You're probably still looking at that 45 being a good base number to start working away from. Keep in mind, definitely don't think we're going to get up to those 60-pound bikes, as this can start putting a lot of strain on our bike racks. Keeping that in mind too, of bikes that can fit on here, carbon frame bikes not going to be a great option as we are having frame contact. However, going to do a good job of getting most of our standard bikes up on here with no trouble at all. Now, getting this guy on here isn't going to take too much time. Let's go ahead and see how we can pop that off. We mentioned these strips before. All we have to do is pull down on that plastic. It's going to go ahead and release that quite easily. Popping this one as well. And that does bring us to our third point of contact, which is our anti-sway control. You'll notice at the bottom here, we do have this bottom structure holding in that vertical post. You can see that does have a little bit of play, but you can imagine if this wasn't here, how much that actually swing. And that's one thing I did want to point out. You will notice that this wheel is going to get just a little bit closer to Odyssey here if it is in this position. However, it's not going to make contact innately standing, but if our bike just had a little bit of sway, we're going to feel a little bit of bumps. Now, hopefully, our bike's going to be kind of sitting right here. You can see our handlebar never going to get too close there, which is nice. One thing I might recommend, picking up a cam buckle strap from etrailer.com. We can either sling those through the rest of our bikes and have all those wheels nice and condensed, really reducing that sway. And we actually have a back post too that we could tie those into. So that's something we're worried about. We do have a way of kind of working around that. To pop off that anti-sway is, again, just that simple little strip. And then that brings us to our dismount. We want to get a good handle on either side and just simply walk it off. And we're all ready to ride. You can imagine too, walking these on is going to be just as easy. Just one thing to keep in mind, you know, you have a lot of straps. I find it easy just to keep those nice and condensed as we are going down. That way they're not getting in the way. Now, one great thing about the CURT Premium too is it does have a tilt-away feature. So if we bring ourselves to the back end here, we do have a way of actually opening up our cargo. We just have a simple little clip and pin system that we want to start with first. So there's that pin, or that clip I should say, for our pin. And I find it a little easy too, just to go ahead, de-tighten this knob in the back, make it a little loose for ourselves. And that way we can get a little bit of play there. You can see just kind of wiggling it really help get that pin open. And then I want to make sure I'm doing a good job of supporting my mast. I'm going to find this little middle knob here, pull that up and just walk it down. Keep in mind, we do want to make sure we are removing those bikes. We don't want to cause any damage to our rack, especially our bikes. And then we can just simply open up our hatch. And as you can see, plenty of clearance for that to swing away. Really no issues there at all. Now I can get in here and I can get those coolers, those bike helmets, anything I might need without having to scramble through the middle. It just makes it nice and easy if we have a little bit of space there. Quick and easy access. I can imagine too, you know, we're at the gas station. We haven't taken this guy quite off because you can, you know, always a pain to put him on and off. Nice that we can quickly and easily access that. You'll watch as I walk this up, that knob is going to find itself to hold itself there. And I really do like this safety cable just being included on this pin. Makes it real easy to sling this in. And without a little bit of user error. Trying to keep that as straight as we can there, guys. Here we go. Makes it way easier to put it in. Get that clip back in position, and make sure we want to tighten down this back knob too. This takes out a lot of that play for our mast as it's sitting in this position. So, quick and a little easy way to get that guy going. And as you can see, we do have that little knob there for those cam buckles or anything else. Now, with any hitch-mounted accessory, we are going to be adding some length to our vehicle, and our Odyssey already is a little bit long, so definitely a dimension we want to keep in our minds. So, going from the rear of our bumper here to the end of our bike rack, putting me right at 34.5 inches there. So definitely going to be a distance I want to keep in mind there. Definitely a little bit of length, but keep in mind we are getting 4 bikes on this carrier, so that's where a lot of our length issues are coming from, and we actually do have a way of shortening that down pretty quickly. And the end here, you'll notice we have another pin and clip system. All I have to do, pop open that spring clip like so, it just detaches right there. And then I really like helping support my mast. It takes a lot of that tension off. You can see how easy that is to release. And then we can just reinsert our pin right away, like so. Reinserting that clip makes it nice and secure. And you're going to see it's going to have a little bit of play, but nothing too crazy. A little bit more side to side, but definitely not going to be anything crazy. Definitely not going to have anything touching, which is nice. No contact with our Odyssey, even with that play. Won't be moving back, so that's definitely a fear that's been alleviated. And as you can see, that's a lot of length shaved down. If I take a quick look here, going from the rear of our bumper once again to the end, and our straps are kind of negligible here. So going from our hard contact, puts us right actually at our pinch point down the bottom here, puts us right under 11.5 inches. So 11 and about 1/4 there to the end. Definitely saving about 20 inches already. So nice that we can collapse this down. Now we can get in the garage and, you know, any of those tight parking places with no trouble at all. But that does move us to our receiver at the bottom here. And you'll notice today we do have a 2-inch receiver for our 2-inch hitch. However, we've also gone ahead and thrown on an etrailer hitch pin alignment collar. Now what this guy does great, I can throw this guy on, and once I finally find where my pin is aligned, put this collar on, tighten it down, and every time I pull this on and off, it'll align itself perfectly. That means I'm spending a lot less time on my hands and my knees. And I think it's very nice with this Odyssey. You can see how much that hitch is actually up and behind our vehicle. Can really become a pain, especially, you know, if we're just trying to get going on those Saturday mornings with no trouble at all. Definitely something I recommend. And you'll notice too, we do have an anti-rattle threaded hitch bolt here. Now they're pretty standard across the industry, but they're definitely very important. So you can see as I'm shaking this guy, it's shaking the entirety of the vehicle. What that means is we've taken a lot of that innate play down. No more jostle for our bikes as we're sitting there. Makes for a nice smooth ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and our bikes. So love to see that, even though it is pretty standard, always nice to see those included. Well, I think the CURT Premium, as you guys can see, can be an excellent option, especially for a young family that's just starting out. I really like that I don't have to get bike adapter bars to start making those smaller bikes work, and I don't have too much trouble at all with most of our standard bikes. I do like how much it actually swings away, and I'm still not losing access to the back of my hatch. Well, I think that about does it for a look at the CURT Premium 4 bike rack carrier here on our 2021 Honda Odyssey. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.